All right, welcome to a live stream of Let Freedom Ring. It's WrestleMania Day 2. We did a stream yesterday for WrestleMania Night 1. My guest making a third appearance on Let Freedom Ring, the creator and owner, I guess, of the Nerds of Wrestling, Justin Del Rio. Justin, welcome back.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much for having me on, man. It means a lot. I love coming on the show.
Awesome. We might have some other people joining in at some point. A lot of people are busy right now. I know, prepping for WrestleMania. I'm sure people have got some cooking going on. I like to order out during WrestleMania.
Yep,
So
I just ordered pizza and I'm already full, so I'm good for the
perfect.
rest of the night.
But Justin, I guess the audience might want to know, what made you become a wrestling fan?
I've always been a wrestling fan ever since I was like 12, 10, 12 years old, 11. Uh, Ever since I was like 11, I've been instantly hooked. But like there were times though where I stopped watching wrestling. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people went on like a bit of a hiatus, and I did. I went on a bit of a hiatus for like 3 years. And I kind of regret that because I don't think I ever told you, Dan. It was around the time I stopped watching wrestling. I missed the whole summer of CM Punk and John Cena, so I wasn't even a
Oh,
fan of that. Yeah,
one of the best angles that had happened in like so long.
yeah. I got back into wrestling in like December of 2011, and I know John Cena and CM Punk were going at it for like 5 months before, like in the summer and everything. And I missed everything. I missed all of it. So I had no idea what happened like when I was watching again.
The pipe bomb stuff was so great, and I have to admit, I went to bed that night and Raw, like I had to wake up and be like, wait a second, we gotta, because let's just be honest, wrestling had been kind of stale
Yeah,
in 2010, 2011. I mean, there were some things that were good. Nexus was such a great idea the year before, and then they just
right.
killed it. So yeah, it goes in cycles. I mean, I agree. I remember I stopped watching for a little bit when it became WWE, and I was like, in 2002, it was kind of like,
Yeah,
wow, it felt there's so much going on. And I feel like I didn't watch. I watched most of 2002, 2003. I kind of fell out, and what brought me back was Benoit and Guerrero being champions.
yeah.
I had wanted that for so long, and when it actually happened, it brought me right back in. Um,
That was like '04, right? WrestleMania 20.
yeah, so Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar, which I never thought that would ever happen.
And No Way Out.
Which, yeah, and again, I didn't see that pay-per-view live, but that when I heard Guerrero won the title, I was brought right back in because, and this is the only time I've taken a break from wrestling really, but yeah, and then to see Mania where Benoit wins the title as well. I mean, and again, we've talked about this on the show. We know
Right.
the tragedy. We're just talking our mindset back in that
Was
time. But yeah. Now, how many WrestleManias have you seen live?
on pay-per-view. Oh God. Uh 23 was the first one I watched. 24 I couldn't watch because I remember 24 I got in trouble and my mom wouldn't let me watch it because I cheated on the science test and the teacher called her and told, and so that messed up my plan. So 23, 29, so 23, 29, and 30 no, till now. So like eight of them.
Nice. Yeah, the
23
first
was 23 was the first one I've ever seen live, like actual pay-per-view.
that's a good one to start with because you had
Yeah.
that Cena and Shawn Michaels match, which is absolutely phenomenal. Uh,
Yeah,
what, yeah,
the billionaire match with Lashley and Mark. That was
yes,
pretty cool.
that was pretty cool. Back before I despised Donald Trump.
Same. I
Yeah,
love Trump at that time. I was like, I want Vince McMahon to get his head shaved, and like
yeah,
looking back, I'm like, wish Donald got his head shaved.
Yeah, yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. The one thing I can say about WrestleMania 24 was that I had to, I was in this like history class I was taking in college, and
Right.
I had to do an interview with someone in the town, and then I had to listen to the interview and type it, like listen, type, because they had to keep records of all this. I started it right after WrestleMania finished. I didn't get this done until about 7 o'clock the next morning. It was
Oh,
torture. I
how
shouldn't
long
have
was the
waited.
interview?
The interview only had to be a half hour, but I ended up doing this interview for about an hour. It was the owner of Biederman's, and his story. Maybe I may have. This is Biederman's, a big sandwich shop in Plymouth State. we have to get him on the show because his story was just absolutely fascinating, and this interview just kept going. Um, but that's neither here nor there. What's been your favorite WrestleMania?
God, 17, man. 17 hands down. 23, just, for the simple fact that it was the first WrestleMania I've ever seen, like ever live. And I'm gonna throw 31 is very I feel like you could agree 31 is
So good.
extreme so good and extremely underrated. So such an underrated WrestleMania. I didn't appreciate it for what it was then, but looking back watching it, I was like, I really wish I had the mindset I had now watching it when it was live.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's it's crazy, like, because that was such a good. I literally always remember like where I was, what I was doing that day. I remember some. This is horrible, not horrible, but like, um, in a way bad. But someone had had a heart attack in this complex that I was
Oh
in.
shit.
I had to call 911 that day. I remember, and unfortunately they passed away. But it was like pretty terrifying to see that. And then I was like, no, I gotta go watch WrestleMania. Like,
Oh, damn.
but that Mania was unbelievable. Seth Rollins cashing in. I don't think any of us were seeing it coming
No.
at the time.
People say they saw it coming, but no, they didn't. No, they
No,
didn't.
I had no idea. I had no
Nobody
idea.
knew. Nobody knew.
Uh,
I remember I was at my buddy's house. We had a backyard wrestling event, and I was refereeing the show. And I remember, God, it was. I remember WrestleMania 30. We had a show before WrestleMania 2, and then we had another one before the for 33, 31, and everyone's like, yo, we gotta stop doing these shows the day of WrestleMania because we end at 5. Like everyone's got to go home. Like we gotta get ready for WrestleMania. Like we gotta order food, shower, and everything. So no more shows the day of WrestleMania.
yeah.
But yeah, 31 is underrated.
And the other
Crazy.
thing I'll throw out there, I believe Daniel Bryan wins the IC title.
Yep.
Orton hits probably my favorite RKO on Rollins ever. And then you did, get the Sting Triple H match. Not that it,
Yeah.
I wish Sting kind of went out on top, but it was just fun to see that match.
Speaking of the RKO, one of my favorite RKOs ever was Randy Orton doing the RKO to Dolph Ziggler at Night of Champions in 2012. I don't know if you remember, like Dolph Ziggler. When I said Dolph Ziggler, right? Dolph Ziggler just ran to Orton and he just threw him in the air and gave him the RKO.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That
I
was my
mean,
favorite one. Like not a lot of people talk about that. I'm like, I mean, I like the RKO, but like I like it simple. Like just keep it simple.
Orton has like because DDP, essentially the RKO is slightly different, I guess, than the Diamond Cutter, and
Yep.
you always want to see these unique ways that Diamond Dallas Page would hit the Diamond Cutter, but then Randy Orton really has taken this to a whole nother level of
Yes.
like the Evan Bourne thing. When Evan Bourne hit that 5-star press, and he like it's it
The
truly is
RKO.
it truly is out of nowhere. It's a
No, seriously.
phenomenal move. Um, what is your favorite Mania match?
Oh God, Shawn Michaels versus Taker, hands down. Shawn
Yeah,
Michaels
that's
versus at
mine.
25. The TLC match at 17. The Hardys, Devon and the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian. Edge versus uh Edge versus Mick Foley at 22 in a hardcore match.
That was unbelievable.
Uh, oh God, that was nuts. Uh, Shawn Michaels versus John Cena at 23. There's so many. I mean, it's kind of hard just to name one WrestleMania match.
It's near impossible.
Right? You can't. Nobody has just one.
No, you can't. But for me, I agree with you. Michaels and Taker. This is again before what people call false finishes. You think the match is over, they kick out of a move that's typically not kicked out of. That's before like that was a big thing in 2009,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they did it, and that was like the first time in a long time I'd seen anything like kicked out of a tombstone. Nobody kicks out of the tombstone. It was just very unique, very well done, and probably is obviously two of the best to ever do it. You know,
yes, hands
and
down. And he kicked out of two of them, if I'm not mistaken, or just one.
I know there was definitely one. I'm trying to remember now.
I think
Uh,
maybe he just kicked out of one. I think kicking out of two tombstones will be pushing it. Just one.
yeah, like, and the thing was, you knew Undertaker was going to win, and I mean,
Right.
to this day, even when the streak was broken, I never actually thought that I had when that 3 count happened. I was just like, I was like
That's
the guy
good.
in the stands. I couldn't believe it. You know?
This guy, I used to volunteer at this elementary school. One of the teachers who worked there, he was at that WrestleMania, and he showed me a picture of his face.
Yeah.
He was pissed. He was like, "Bro, my face was like that for like the whole night." He was in disbelief.
Yeah, the only person I believe that called it was our play. I think my buddy Scott said that he might have said it, but Dan Fuentes, who I'm hoping Dan can jump in on this, he predicted that. He predicted the streak would end that night, and
It's his fault.
when he was like, "I told you all," I'm like, how would
How
you,
the how
you
the hell did you know that?
you could, you know what? You could have just said that for the last 30 years. Every year, just say, "Hey, he's losing this year," and eventually you're going to be right, I guess. But
Right, but you said that one night you said it. He was right.
unbelievable.
None,
What's your favorite celebrity moment?
none.
You know, like not even the Pete Rose stuff.
No. Okay, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna say one thing. Going into this match, I was not excited. I thought this individual was an absolute joke. I don't like him. Uh, this man absolutely changed my mind, and that is Bad Bunny.
Yeah,
Last night, holy shit, dude! Like
he
he
was
did,
good.
he was good. He did some stuff in there. When he hit that Canadian on John Morrison, I lost my shit.
Yeah,
I lost it.
I was surprised because typically WWE won't do any kind of pile drivers anymore. Um, but yeah, it was pretty phenomenal. I mean, I give him credit because I said he sucked on a
Right,
post.
same. So did I. So
I,
did I.
I I wasn't excited for this. I mean, but it seems like he's like a legit fan,
Yeah.
and that's kind of cool. I will say on a Canadian Destroyer, and I'm not a wrestler, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's the other guy really doing the work because the fact that I watched an indie match where Virgil in his mid to late 50s hit a Canadian Destroyer. I'm not kidding. Um, so I don't know. I don't know,
I
but
mean, but still, I mean, you got to do some pretty sick moves. I mean, yeah, the
yeah,
person taking it is landing on their head, but I couldn't do it.
no,
I definitely couldn't do it.
no, I don't think I could flip over somebody to like assist in that,
And
So
like land on your back, like
yeah,
at that, like not, but like yo, credit to Bad Bunny. I was at my
yeah.
friend's house and we all went nuts. I like legit. I told everyone at my job like Bad Bunny's wrestling at WrestleMania. They're like, oh, word, man, yeah, I'm not watching it. I don't give a shit for that match. I don't care. And I was invested. I was like, you know what? Let me watch this match. Let me give him a shot. And he exceeded my expectations. He did good. So that is one celebrity who I will put on my list. Bad Bunny last night at WrestleMania 37.
I mean, definitely more. I watched Lawrence Taylor Bam Bam the other day, and I mean, again, Bam Bam carried Lawrence Taylor in the match, but Lawrence Taylor didn't do anything that Bad Bunny pulled off last night
Mm-mm.
at all. And I don't even think Floyd Mayweather had done anything. I don't know. Did Big Show like throw Mayweather? I can't remember now.
I don't know, but like it's I just know he knocks him out with like some brass like Mayweather knocked him out some brass knuckles. But when I remember I was talking to the show on Friday making predictions, and I was saying that I lost my shit when Pat McAfee took a
Yeah.
Canadian. I had no expectations for him either. He blew my mind. He blew everyone out the water. He impressed everybody. I said on Friday, if Bad Bunny takes a Canadian, I'm gonna lose my shit. Obviously, I knew he wasn't gonna take a Canadian. I sure as hell did not know he was gonna give one.
No, it was pretty. I give him credit where credit is due. He was fantastic last night. That was one of the more entertaining matches
Oh,
of the evening. Uh,
definitely.
do you have a favorite title change?
Oh, oh, I have a. Yeah, yeah. I would definitely have had to put it up there. I would definitely say Seth Rollins winning the title at 31 when he successfully cashed in his Money in the Bank against Lesnar and Roman. So that's one. I mean, God damn, like you know how
So
wrestling
many.
is. There's
Yeah.
title there's title changes all the time. But if I had to pick one, yeah, I think it would be Seth Rollins winning the title for the first time at WrestleMania 31.
That was pretty cool. I still have my top favorite. I was in second grade when Hogan won the title at WrestleMania 9 in that spur of the moment match. And I remember like parents being responsible and telling their kids they couldn't stay for the whole pay per view. We were only 8 years old. But obviously, it was at my house, so I got to see the whole thing, and I couldn't wait to get on the school bus the next day and be like, "You aren't gonna believe this. Yokozuna beats Bret Hart. Hulk Hogan comes out. He challenges him for the title. Hogan hits a leg drop. Fuji through the sand. Like Hogan's the champion. I can't believe this. Like it was like I was such a little Hulkamaniac Bret Hart fan at that point. When you're a little kid. So like
I can only imagine. I can only imagine you as like a little kid just on the bus, like, guys, guess what happened? Guess what happened?
you're not gonna believe this. I was excited. I don't think I wanted to go to school the next day. I wanted to celebrate and drink orange juice all day or something. So.
Orange juice.
Uh,
That's funny.
how do you feel about it being 2 nights?
I I wasn't a fan of it at first, especially last year. Like last year I was not a fan of it at all. But like after watching the whole WrestleMania last night and seeing these matches, I'm like, that was really good. Like, holy shit, we still have one more night of all these matches. So I'm a fan. I like it. I wouldn't mind if WrestleMania was 2 nights from now on.
Yeah, I'll just say I'm a little exhausted because I like to get to like I was at my brother Mike's last night. Now I'm at my brother Bobby's. We like to get
Nice.
together for this stuff. And I'm just like, and none of us, well, Bobby lives close. He's in Manchester now, but Mike lives in Waltham. My girlfriend lives in Andover. So I feel like I've just been bouncing around places, but it's Mania weekend. So whatever. know?
You put a lot of mileage on your car, huh?
Oh, yeah, I definitely did this weekend. One thing I asked on the show yesterday, and I want to get your kind of thoughts on it. How do you feel about looking back on? Because this is one of my favorite WrestleMania moments. Was Benoit and Guerrero in the ring together at WrestleMania 20? Do you have a hard time watching that? I mean, everything that's happened with Benoit, obviously losing Eddie Guerrero in 2005, it's just like heartbreaking to watch, and it was
It
such a
is.
feel good moment.
I know I don't have a hard time watching it at all because I know what they went through in that match. I know what they went through even before WrestleMania, and I know we know the long history they have together. So no, I don't find it hard. I don't find it hard to watch at all right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do know some people that'll never watch anything Benoit ever again. I'm not one of those. I think he did, obviously, what he did was heinous. They
Right,
did find, CTI. I remember Chris Jericho was going back to Japan to wrestle, and people give him crap on the internet about, having a picture of Benoit to, as like a dedication. And he said, listen, you can sit there and criticize me. You never met this man. You don't know this man. Yeah, he did an evil thing at the end of his life, but you're not going to tell me what I can post about people you never even knew. So,
right,
you know,
exactly. It's what was it? Oh, what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say, but it's all right. When I think of it, I'll say it.
now, what did you think of last night's show? I want to talk about a few matches. Well, look at what kind of went down. Obviously, we talked about Bad Bunny was very,
Yeah.
successful. Great match. What did you think of Strowman and Shane McMahon?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Somebody brought up a fair point where they were like, if Strowman really wanted to, end Shane McMahon, he should have threw him off the steel cage and he should have landed on the announce table. I said, yeah, no, I don't think he's gonna take that. I said, plus if you take that, Strowman loses and Shane wins. Oh, that's true. Uh, but it was a good match. I know there was like really no story leading into it.
Yeah, it was very, kiddish. The
Hmm.
sliming.
Hmm.
Um, I want to say one thing to Dan Morris of the Morris Code podcast. That was not a Hell in the Cell match. That was a steel cage match. There's a big difference between Hell in the Cell, or there used to be a big difference between Hell in the Cell, steel
On the world,
cage.
yeah, steel cage has no top to it.
No, no, and yeah, Hell in the Cells have definitely ever since the Fiend got disqualified. And I remember X Pac was on like a live cast being like, "How the hell do you get disqualified in a Hell in the Cell match?"
Yeah, no
Um,
contest. Yeah,
or
right.
no contest, whatever it was. I mean, there's usually a finish to that, but that's neither here nor there. What do you think of Cesaro and Rollins?
Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Rollins is one of my favorite wrestlers. Rollins did not need that win.
No.
Everybody watching that knew that Cesaro was gonna get that W. It was his first ever singles match at WrestleMania. So I had Cesaro winning the whole time. So I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I hope this leads to more with Cesaro. I mean, he's getting older. I'd like to see him more in the main event. Seth Rollins has like a lot of WrestleMania wins. Like
Yeah,
I
he
think
has
it's
too
like a
many.
I don't know the exact number, but I know it's a lot. So he didn't
I know
he
he
didn't
won. He won at like 33. Did he win at 34? Did you
34 was
the IC title, the Fatal Four Way? I think, or the Triple Threat.
hmm, I can't
I
remember
gotta
off the
look.
top of my
I
head.
think it was either him or Finn Balor who won.
Finn, yeah, I'd have to look at. Wow, that wasn't even that long ago. I feel like the
No,
pay-per-views like are more recent. I have a hard time remembering.
yeah, it's like
Uh,
you think it's like 8 years ago.
yeah, it feels like years ago. But what did you think of the tag? What do we tag turmoil
The tag
match?
team turmoil match. I laughed my ass off and Mandy fell. It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
I
yeah.
laughed so hard. I don't know if you saw her video on Twitter or Facebook. She posted a video on Twitter, and just like posing for the camera and stuff. And lo and behold, Titus O'Neil walks up behind her and says, "You okay?" She was
That's
embarrassed.
awesome.
He goes, "It happens to the best of us."
You know what?
So
So you know what I love in this day and age with social media. When a wrestler does kind of mess up, they can own it better
right,
than what they could have in the 90s. You just would have had someone be like, "You effed up, you effed up." Now it's
right.
like, "Yeah, I messed." Actually, you don't really have those. I don't hear those chants anymore. I know WWE's been more. Maybe
Lenient.
I think too. Like I know fans get a lot of criticism on the internet about being too nitpicky about stuff. But I will say that type of disrespect that would go on in the 90s, that'd be like, "You effed up, you don't see that much anymore,
No, you don't.
which I think is a
That
good thing. They're human beings out there trying to perform to entertain you, and you're trying to be this mark, trying to like be smarter than they are.
I don't I don't think anybody's gonna say anything. Just a simple fact. It's like, everybody's first time there. Like, it happens. Like, it was raining, so people knew. I mean, well, I laughed really hard, but I'm not gonna like make fun of her for the rest of her life for it. It happened. She slipped and fell. But with that being said, that was my least favorite match of the night. Honestly, I was not happy with the winners. I had Riot Squad winning, and I don't know why you are not putting a title on Ruby Riot or Liv Morgan. What the hell? Those are like two of the best wrestlers in WWE in the women's division, and they need to have some sort of goal.
No, I agree. I agree. Let me see here. Okay, so now the two big title matches. We'll say the WWE title match first.
Yeah,
McIntyre, Lashley, which I was shocked that was starting the show. And I know that they do that now. Like, let's start off hot with we're going to give you the main event first, or
right.
what could be a main event first, because Sasha and Belair are definitely a main event match.
Yes.
Were you surprised Lashley won? Because I think a lot of us just figured McIntyre's getting the title back.
No, I knew what McIntyre was gonna lose. I said, you know, uh, McIntyre is not gonna be champion for anytime soon. Like he has to let Lashley hold on to the title for longer. McIntyre already had his run. He already had
Yeah,
his run as champion. Yeah, it was in front of a Thunderdome, but you gotta remember, like Lashley's going back to a Thunderdome tomorrow. Like he's not going to an arena for in front of 20,000 people. He's gonna be wrestling in front of computer monitors again. Yeah, it sucks that I guess for McIntyre not to win the title in front of people, but it's just one night. Yeah, it's WrestleMania, but it's not going to change his character, not going to change his momentum. So yeah,
it,
I mean, I had Lashley winning, and I'm happy my prediction was right.
it's sad that it is going back to a Thunderdome because it's been like last night. But I will say, people at WrestleMania, if anybody is watching this, it's sad. We know Johnny's there. He
Yeah,
seems to be doing good wearing his mask. But a lot of those people, at least the people close to the ring,
yeah,
were
we're right.
close to it. They were close to each other, and there wasn't a lot of mask wearing. Someone's walking out of there with COVID. Like that was gonna happen no matter what. It's just gonna be like, what is the spread coming out of WrestleMania?
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not like Texas though, where they had 38,000 people, with no
Yeah,
mask.
no, that was unreal. It's crazy to even see. Like it's so shocking to me to see now, just because we've been living in this for like a year. Like it just feels just seeing it's like shocking.
You
You
know,
know?
like 4 years ago, it was like normal to see 38,000 people sitting next to each other. Just
Yeah.
chilling, no mask. Like now, like this whole year, it's like, oh my god, wear a mask, why'd you wear a mask?
Well, I'll say this too, and shout out to Johnny again because when he sent that picture of him and Hall, I think back years ago, like, man, going to meet and greets. Now you have to get your picture taken with a wrestler, but you both got your masks on, so it's
Yeah.
like you can't even see the
Um.
face.
Yeah. John, if you're watching, I'm gonna tease you a bit, bro. Yes, if you go to a WrestleCon, you're gonna have to spend money. Not everything's free. So just
Oh
remember that for next time.
no, nothing is ever free at
Yo,
those.
Johnny, when you said that, I was like, oh my God, are you serious, bro? But
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Shout shout out to Johnny. I'm sure he's having a good time though at Mania.
Yeah, let's
Um,
hope.
Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, two African American women main eventing night one. That's pretty historic. What'd you think of that match? It was
Loved
pretty
it.
damn good.
Loved
Yeah.
it. Loved it. Someone said it was the best women's wrestling match of all time. Yeah. I mean, I would have put it up there as the best women's wrestling match of all time. But it's definitely one of the best main events in WrestleMania I've seen in a while. I was very happy to see both Bianca and Sasha close the show. Both deserve it. I said on Friday in my podcast, my prediction for WrestleMania, I said ever since people laid eyeing on Bianca Belair in NXT and when she came to the main roster, we all said, "Give us Sasha versus Bianca,"
Oh,
and
it
we
it,
got it.
it, it was great. I would have been happy with whoever won that match. I am a
Same.
huge Sasha Banks fan.
Oh yeah, so am I.
I don't have my Sasha Banks glasses with me right now, but yeah, she's a local. She trained in New England Pro Wrestling Academy. Like, it's just great to see people out of our area make it, and not just make it, main event WrestleMania. So that's just fantastic.
I gotta ask though. I wonder how many guys from the New England Pro Wrestling Academy were the bunnies in
Oh
and
yeah.
John Morrison in the midget entrance.
Oh God. Who knows?
Who
Uh,
knows?
Absolutely great stuff. All right, well, let's just get into kind of tonight.
Yeah.
So you might be aware I do a pick'em league where we have to pick the matches. Um, and someone's walking out tonight as a champion. It goes from SummerSlam to WrestleMania. After last night, I'm in the lead. My brother Mike actually was in the lead, and he didn't text all the matches, so he lost some big points last night
Oh,
because he only picked, I think, five of the seven matches or whatever it was. So we will see. I'm going to try to keep track of this really well tonight. But Oscar Ray Ripley, Raw Women's Title.
Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley. I mean, Asuka has not been doing much at all with that title, so give it to Rhea. And plus, you're not going to bring Rhea Ripley to Florida to the main roster, essentially to face two of the top women wrestlers in the main roster to lose 2 years in a row. So Rhea
That's a
Ripley.
good point. I've locked in my picks, and I had Oscar, which you got a good point. Ripley lost last year. Are they going to back to back? But my other thing is now that Belair won the title, unless they're just like, because there's years where it's like if one title changes, the other one's not.
Right.
But they could just flip the script and say, hey, we're going a new direction. We're going to have two new champions. I don't know.
Do it. I mean, do it. I mean, because Sasha Banks has had. Okay, I'm not gonna say Sasha Banks had the best title run of her career, but she had a good reign. Everybody knew when she dropped. Every time she won the title, she dropped immediately. No, not this time. She held her for 6 months.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. Sasha Banks as champion for 6 months. I don't care how long she held it, as long as she holds it for 6 months. But yeah, no, I got Rhea Ripley walking out Raw Women's Champion tonight. She has to. She has to. It'd be stupid for her not to.
And a shout out to Bailey and Sasha because during this pandemic period, they've been like two of the most entertaining things in wrestling. Sasha Banks and Bailey. Um, Randy Orton or the Fiend or the Burned Fiend, Bray Wyatt.
The Fiend. The
I hope
Fiend.
so. Yeah,
I hope. I'm just wondering. I'm wondering what kind of match it's going to be.
super
I hope it's.
excited.
I hope it's a cinematic match. I doubt it's going to be just because of the crowd.
Yes.
But it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. But you also got it'll be interesting to see what kind of match it is. But you also got to remember what happened 4 years ago at WrestleMania with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, a very
Randy Orton,
lackluster. Yeah,
Randy Orton beat him. So there's no way in hell Randy Orton's beating him twice at WrestleMania. So you got to give it to the Fiend.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that match, you know, it's funny. Bray Wyatt went into that match, said, "Me and Randy Orton are going to deliver at WrestleMania 33," and they did not. It was a very weird, bizarre match. So this is their chance to kind of make that up.
Yeah.
Just quick shout out to Maura McCabe. McCabe, former guest of the show. You were on the show with her. She said, "Hey boys,
What's up,
nice to
Laura?
see you again. Have a great show." So, um, yeah, I got the Fiend too. I think that's going to be fun. Whatever they do, it's. I think Bray Wyatt is a genius, not just as a like he's got some creative ideas, and I
So,
think
dude, he's
you know,
we all know where he's gonna end up at once he retires from wrestling. He's gonna be like the head writer for somewhere for WWE.
yeah, he's brilliant. I'd like to see his father get in the Hall of Fame too, Mike Rotunda. That'd be
Oh
good.
yeah,
Um, Big E versus Apollo Crews, IC title, Nigerian drum match is what I understand it's
yeah.
called.
I don't even know
I don't know
what
what that is.
neither do I, but I gotta give it to I gotta give it to Apollo, man. Apollo, this is his first singles match at WrestleMania. It's also about Big E's first singles match at WrestleMania. But Big E had a great run as IC champion. Uh, we all know same thing as Sasha. We all know that it wouldn't be the end, and it's not going to be the end for the current title holder. So Big E will definitely get that title back eventually, but you got to give this to Apollo.
I'm pulling for Apollo Crews too. I know there's been a lot of criticism about the new gimmick because obviously he didn't have an accent before,
Right?
but he is of Nigerian descent.
Yeah.
So I think it's unique. I think it's a little bit different. I don't, I hate like Vince's ideas of like you got to have the foreign villain. Like I honestly thought Jinder Mahal's title run would have been better as a babyface. If you really want to get the people of India behind him, he needed to be a babyface. It
Speaking of
just made
Jinder
no
Mahal,
sense.
when I saw him yesterday in that rap, I'm like, he's still employed with them.
Yeah, see,
Like, what the hell?
I love Jinder Mahal, and I loved his title run. I know that's probably unpopular to a lot of
Yeah,
people, but I think
100% is.
I think it could have been better if he was a babyface because if the whole idea was to um, further WWE in India, why would the Indian people get behind a guy who cheats to win?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. If he was a babyface character, that might have sold more tickets, in my opinion.
I,
Uh,
I guess I guess they knew that it wasn't gonna last long, so they're like, oh, whatever, let's just make him a heel and have him cheat every time to win.
Yeah, that was just one of those. I loved it because I do like Jinder Mahal. So no biggie there. But
No,
yeah. So I think we both got Apollo, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. This is going to be insane. I know these guys have wrestled many times. Uh,
minus Logan Paul, but
yeah,
yeah,
I hate Logan Paul. What's his brother's name?
Jake,
Jake. I'm not a fan of the Paul brothers
neither am
at
I.
all. So sure, throw them in. But who you got winning this one?
I, I got Kevin Owens winning. Just with Sami Zayn's whole gimmick right now with like the was it the conspiracy stuff and whatnot X Y and Z. He's gonna lose and blame it on somebody. Uh, there's not really a big story going into this match.
Yeah.
But if for the wrestling fans who don't know, like go back and watch Kevin Steen and El Generico in ROH. Then you'll be like, oh, okay.
And these
Which
guys are best friends in real life.
yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah.
which are Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And for those who didn't know who Kevin Steen and El Generico were, but and this is also their first time wrestling at WrestleMania. Is it in front of 80,000 people? No, but I feel like these two do not need a match. I mean, they don't need a story at all because every time they go into the ring, they tell a beautiful story, and tonight's going to be no exception. If you remember at WrestleMania 32, they had a bit of a stare off where Kevin kind of beat the shit out of Sammy, and he was like, "Hey, go back to NXT." And near the end, Sammy gave him a half Nelson ran through a ladder. So
I'll say this about these two. Yeah, they don't need a story. The story goes back almost 20 years.
to
So
ROH,
I'm gonna enjoy it. I think Logan Paul's getting a lot of heat. As much as like we don't like him, it's kind of a cool idea that they're bringing him in because he's gonna get booed out of the building, which is
oh, yeah,
gonna
he
be kind
is.
of cool.
He is.
Um,
He's gonna get nose on like get the fuck out of here. I honestly thought Bad Bunny was gonna get put out of the building, but he got cheered. Like
because
people
because
went nuts.
Bad Bunny can go. So
He can go. Like so, I gotta give him again. I gotta give him credit. So, Bad Bunny, if you're listening or watching somehow miraculously, yes, I did talk shit. Yes, Dan did too. We are completely sorry. We are now fans of you.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can take my Facebook post, screenshot it to the
Yep,
world. That's fine.
everything.
I
But
know.
I'm
I
saying right
apologize.
now, I am sorry and I apologize. You proved
Uh,
me wrong.
and I will say I picked Owens, and I'm locked into this pick at this point.
Yeah.
But part of my gut says it's gonna be Sammy. Owens went over Rollins last year. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That could burn me later. We got Matt Riddle, not Riddle, Matt Riddle. Because
Again,
I don't,
never heard of.
I hate when they call him Riddle, just Riddle. But
Yeah.
he's not Goldberg. He's Matt
No,
Riddle.
he's Matt
Uh,
Riddle.
Matt Riddle, Sheamus, U.S. title match. Who you got?
Matt Riddle. This is his
Same,
first.
same.
This is his first time defending it. If I'm not mistaken, this is his first time. It's crazy to think amount of wrestlers who are walking into WrestleMania for the first time in singles competitors. Matt Riddle, Apollo, Big E, Cesaro, like Bianca Belair. There's what like 5 or 6 wrestlers right there I just named who walked in or who are walking into WrestleMania for the very first time. So I got Riddle successfully retaining. Sheamus does not need it. She, there's no reason for Sheamus to go over in this match. You got to put Riddle over. So Riddle's my prediction and my choice.
Yeah, Riddle's the future. I think he should win. Sheamus is a first ballot Hall of Famer in my book already.
Yes.
Kind of like a passing of the. I know it's not a main event, but like a passing of
No.
the torch type of
Right.
thing.
Just like yeah, exactly.
Nia
Nothing major.
Jax, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler against Natalia and Tamina.
Well, it should have been the Riot Squad, but that's just me. I have either. So Shayna and Naya are both heels, correct?
Correct.
I have Shayna turning on Nia tonight, and
Ooh,
I see yeah I see the Natalia
Reginald.
and Tamina
Oh,
Tamina
yeah.
yeah Tina Tamina whatever her name is running the titles, and I can see the British Bulldogs family running out to celebrate with them.
Ooh, that'd be a moment if we had
Yeah,
a Hart Dynasty reunion.
that'd be sick.
And I'm going to say this right now, Vince McMahon. I know you're watching. No, you're
Yes,
not. But
clearly.
sign
Yeah, he's
DH.
watching right now. Bro,
Yeah,
what's
he's gonna.
WrestleMania? He's not
He
getting ready
well,
for it.
you didn't know Vince just cares directly what I think, in my
Yeah, of
opinions.
course.
Sign D. They got to sign DH Smith or AEW is going to, because I mean I watched him at Limitless and he's better than he was 10 years ago.
Yeah,
He
I
needs
I
to
met him. I met him a few times. He's a good dude. He's such a good wrestler.
he needs to be somewhere on television.
Yes.
He's the British Bulldog son, for God's sake.
Right.
How is he not with one of the big companies? Doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, maybe they offered him. Maybe they offered to him, and he said no.
I mean, you want to have a match? You want to talk NXT UK? Let's get DH Smith versus Walter. The storyline maybe behind that could be something fantastic. I mean, Walter and Tommaso Ciampa was like they're up there in one of the best matches of the week.
Oh, they're
Obviously,
gold. That was gold.
O'Reilly and Adam Cole were pretty fantastic too.
Oh yeah, they tore the house down.
All right, last one here. And this is a big one. It was supposed to be Roman Reigns and Edge.
Yeah.
Edge is he's fully returned. Never thought we'd see Edge in the ring again until last year, and of course a pandemic happens.
Yeah, which sucked.
Um, but you got Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan for the SmackDown Universal Championship. Uh, who you got?
So we all know. I think everybody knows who are watching. Everyone who will be there in attendance know that unfortunately Daniel Bryan is just there to eat the pin. But
True.
I do have Edge going over tonight.
Okay, so I picked Roman, and I should have maybe changed that pick today because after Lashley retained, I don't think they're going to. I'm going to lose on this one. Edge is winning the title, I believe, but I picked Roman. I got to stick with it at this point. I don't have a choice. But I will say, just an interesting side note. Stan Michael of Talk of Champions made kind of a post the other day saying, "Y'all were behind Daniel Bryan all this time, and now it's like you're mad that he's in there, yet you booed Roman all these years." I think Stan's got a point, but at the
Yeah,
same time, things have evolved. Like Roman's finally the character we always wanted. Uh, Daniel
Opinions
Bryan's done
change, you know.
everything.
Like
Yeah,
Dan, you know, shout out to to Stan. You know, I love Stan to death. I love Shantice to death. Shout out
they're
to
awesome. I like them a
Talk to
lot.
Champions. I love you guys so much. But Stan, man, opinions change. You know, like you're not gonna like one person forever, and you're not gonna hate one person forever. I hated Roman Reigns in 2015. I love Roman Reigns now. I, opinions change, and that's just wrestling. Everybody will tell you.
I'll tell you this: I spent a decade of my life despising John Cena. That's why I keep commenting when you're like about the spinner belt. I'm like, this is a generational thing because I can tell you what straight up, I hated that freaking spinner belt
I love
so
it. I cannot wait to
much.
get it. I'm
Ah,
gonna be on the show with you next time to have it with me the whole
oh
time.
man. But I will say a shout out to my brother Bobby. He has been the most loyal Roman Reigns fan ever. I jumped on the bandwagon at SummerSlam. I'm not gonna lie, it was finally what I had wanted from Roman
We all
Reigns.
did. We all did.
Because we didn't need another John Cena. John Cena was
No.
John Cena. Um, oh, Derek Curtin asked, "Where is Bobby William?" Bobby William was asked to be on the show. He's prepping some meals for us tonight for Mania. But yeah, Justin. Pleasure having you, man. I know you got some places to be.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm actually doing a watch along with Respect the Ring in like 9 minutes during WrestleMania. So,
not,
and my shout out to Mario. Mario, if you're watching, I'm sorry I'm not coming over, bro. But homeboy, I gotta work at 6:30 tomorrow morning. I know you live right next door to me, but I don't want to have to worry about being there till 11, coming home and like worrying about if I'm not gonna fall asleep or not. But I got you next time. I got you next pay per view.
chances are I'm sleeping around this couch tonight. So
Yeah, I got my bed right there. I'm in my basement. My bed's right there. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm just chilling.
yeah, but yeah, and definitely look up the Nerds of Wrestling on Facebook. If you're not already a member and you are a big wrestling fan, it's a giant wrestling community where you can express your opinions, maybe buy a bracelet. I know you still have plenty of those
Yeah. Oh,
for
I'm
sale.
running out. I'm running
Oh,
out. If
you're
you guys
running out.
want
Oh
any,
my god.
you want any, buy some.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Limited supply. If you want a
Limited
Nerds of
supply only.
Wrestling wristband, hit up Justin Del Rio.
I
But
don't got many left, guys. I don't have many left. I
but
should have
where's
never win. Shit.
but yeah, definitely check out the Nerds of Wrestling. I think you can just put that into your search bar on Facebook and it should
Yep.
come up.
Nerds
Um,
of Wrestling all together spelled just like that. And for those of you who are watching, uh, talk about WrestleMania. Please use the hashtag Nerds of Wrestling.
yep. Well, I appreciate it, Justin. I'll be posting all night on Facebook.
There
Everybody,
you go.
don't expect anything less from me.
Right.
But yeah, Justin, I appreciate you making the time to come on. And everybody out there, enjoy WrestleMania and continue to let freedom ring.